Welcome everyone to an awesome chaos showdown between Neckbet as the Pestilence of Nurgle against the seductive Slaanesh. Now we are going to be on the Eye in the north, and this is quite a nice map indeed. It certainly can be dominated in a variety of ways, and as we can see the distance is quite vast between point 1, 2 and 3. However, there are choke points throughout the map. So point 1 certainly has choke points here on the right hand side, and point 2 has choke points all around, and the same could be said here for point 3. Now you can get in and around the back, but you can certainly use the tankiness here of Nurgle to get into those domination points and really hold true with that very, very strong amount of health and healing. And the same can be said for the mobility of Slaanesh. You can get around the map and, certainly prevent them from getting into those choke points and stopping you from getting on the domination points. Now, for Slaanesh, we are going to have some Marauder Spears backed up by a bunch of the regular Marauders. And in the middle, we are going to have the Hellstriders, the Hell Scourgers at the top. This is going to be the Whip variant with a little bit more melee defense, backed up here by the Soul Hunters. That's going to give them some great debuffs, as well as immune to psychology. For the second unit of the more expensive cavalry, we have 1.4k of pure armor piercing with the Heartseekers of Slaanesh, backed up here by Magic Poison and then also Soul Scent. We're here partnered up by the beautiful charge ability of the Devastating Flanker. This cavalry can do very well indeed. So for the Lord Choice, we are going to have the Herald of Slaanesh. The Bad Lady at the front is going to be cheap, not too cheerful, but she should do pretty well indeed. The Arcane Conduit, Soul Siphon, and Smoke of Mirrors here as the abilities, backed up by the Pit of Shades, and the Melkos Mystify Asthma as the spells. Now we are going to have the Portal Glyph as the ability, and then also the Locus of Grace. So pretty cheap here for the Herald of Slaanesh, and the same could be said on the other side here for the Herald of Nurgle. Now he's going to be in the sky on a rock fly, going to be pretty difficult to take down. Now we do have a lot of armor piercing from the flyers here from Slaanesh, but not going to be too useful up against Nurgle, who aren't really known for their armor. Now we are going to be having Arcane Conduit, as well as the Children of Nurgle, a really great lore passive. Alongside here, the Rancid Visitations, a brilliant single entity character sniper. That's a fantastic spell indeed, and if you haven't seen my video on it already, please do go check that out. When you overcast it, this thing is devastating. So the Stream of Corruption, and then also the Locus of Fecundity is going to be in reserve here for a bit of healing, 3 times in a 35-meter radius. In the sky, we are going to have the Death Heads from the Plague Drones of Nurgle, these big bad boys, the helicopters themselves. They sound absolutely phenomenal, but that extra missile strength with magic, poison, and armor piercing can be quite handy. Armor piercing not so much here up against Slaanesh, but they can be very good up against other units for sure. On the floor, we are going to have the Nurglings, the Mass Tide, backed up here by the Chungus of the by the Spawn of Nurgle. These bad boys poison, very, very good mass indeed. Not actually too sure of their total mass, but yeah, 1500, not too bad indeed. That's, going to challenge cavalry and all other good things, and supplement alongside the Nurglings quite nicely. So both sides are going to come together. Good pressure here coming out of Nurgle early gate. We are going to push into the middle, get those Death Heads going forward, and put some pressure on the Herald of Shadows. And we are going to move forward here with the Marauders. We are going to be capturing point 3, point 2, and point 1 here with infantry going forward. We do have a minute and 50 on the clock, but it's still going to be some nice pressure indeed. So into the middle, the Herald of Nurgle is going to be chasing after the Herald of Slaanesh. If we do manage to get maybe an overcast early ability here of the Rancid Visitations, we could do some great damage up against the Herald of Slaanesh. Those Death Heads as well, they could be in chase. They will struggle to hit the fast caster. 100 speed there. It looks like we are going to get a Pit of Shades early up against the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. I don't think that's too optimal. And there we go. We do actually see it. This is quite often played here, and this should be an incredible amount of damage. We are going to see down to 3.6. That should be some nice stuff there from the overcasted Rancid Visitations. Locus of Grace is not really going to help too much, but it will give physical and melee defense in case we do charge in here with the Plague Drones. So not too much damage here on the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, and a lot of damage there on the Herald of Slaanesh. It's pretty cheap, and on a cheap mount there as well, you're going to see a lot of damage in return. So we should be seeing, 750 damage value. Pretty damn good stuff there for one cast. So the Marauders of Slaanesh are going to charge forward. Spears in the middle, backed up by the Heartseekers. And we do have the cavalry in the back there with the Hell Scourgers. Summoning here, we are going to get some Nurglings, Plague Bearers, and a unit of the Chaos Furies of Nurgle. These will be poison and magic damage, so they can get in and do quite well there up against those demons. In the sky, we are getting the Melkos Mystify Asthma, perfect spell here for the Plague Drones of Nurgle. We're getting a slow in the sky and damage. It's obviously going to be better up against units with 25 models or greater, but still, should be some good damage overall. On the floor, Nurglings are going to be charging onto the point, 20 seconds till we kick off. And it looks like here, although we have Marauders on point 1, we're going to be meeting them here with some Furies and some Nurglings of our own. So, pretty good early start here from both sides. I'd say probably the damage value is going to be favoring slightly on Nurgle's side, but probably more optimal damage as well, especially on the Herald of Shadows. Now, I'm going to charge forward with the Nurglings, both units getting in with the spawn of Nurgle as well, and we have Death Heads that could be fired in from behind, do some good splash damage here in the back up against the Marauder Spears and the Marauders of Slaanesh. Domination point 3 is easily going to be captured here by Slaanesh. No pressure coming out of Nurgle. Could I have the Furies here? Just maybe waiting for some rotation here for the infantry units so we can pin them off with the Furies. We are going to get a summon in the middle. What summon? This is going to be the Portal Glyph coming in for the Chaos Fury summon. So a nice stream coming down. Oh, look at that. Backed up by a Pit of Shades here. Going to be ripping the Nurglings from the current realm and pushing them and destroying them back into the Chaos Wastes. As we really get into the middle, we are going to get a massive ability here of the Locust of Grace. And that is some fantastic stuff here, given that plus 24 melee defense and physical resistance. Not too handy here up against Nurglings, but can do some nice work up against the spawn of Nurgle. They don't have any magic damage. So a good capture here on Domination Point 1. We are going to have Furies backed up by the Nurglings. They do push off here the Marauders of Slaanesh. But at the back, we are going to get the Hellstriders, the Hell Scourgers that have been spawned by Double Seekers. Oh, and one of them in Heart Seekers as well. So the regular Seekers are going to be the cheaper variant of the Heart Seekers. And I believe here, let's have a little look. So the Seekers of Slaanesh, yeah, they're going to be the same, but without the Soul Scent. So here, these bad boys won't be getting the extra armor, piercing, and melee attack. So in the middle, the Hell Scourgers are going to join the fight. Don't know how handy they're really going to be here. They could whip apart some of the Nurglings. I think they might struggle up against the spawn of Nurgle, however. So Domination Point 2 has been taken by Nurgle. We do have some Death Heads over the top, ready to go as well. Cavalry is going to be rotating through the Nurgle side of the map. Spears and Marauders are going to be on point 3. That's pretty well locked down. And now we're going to be going for Domination Point 1. Furies in the sky, they are going to be crumbling. They are going to get pushed off the edge of the map as they're losing in combat. And the same here for the Nurglings as they get chopped down to size by the Double Seekers of Slaanesh. Marauders are breaking off, and Marauders here do actually have ITP, which is really nice. The immune to psychology gonna, kind of protect them against fear and terror. In the middle, we get a rear charge of the Plague Drones, doing some lovely work here on the point. They're going to be fighting up against the Marauders of Slaanesh and the Hellstriders, which are going to be the anti-large variant. We do kill the Lord Choice in the middle. Fantastic work there coming out of Nurgle, and Neckbet, he's going to be charging forward with the Herald of Nurgle, getting in there, maybe getting a Locus of Fecundity or 2 on the floor. So we are going to move back in here with the Marauders of Slaanesh. I'd rather actually desummon these, allow them to heal and get the remaining of those pointers back. But apart from that, I think we're going to start to struggle here. We are going to get, now we've got control on the point. Getting these slower Plague Bearers of Nurgle onto Domination Point 2 is quite nice. They're going to be extremely tanky, very hard to push off. But Domination Point 1 is now going to get taken by Slaanesh. Infantry moving forward, we could push forward here with the double cavalry units. We are going to get a unit of the spawn of Nurgle, so a great counter here, brilliant weapon strength, and no armor here for the elite units. Plus they're going to pin them into place and just rip them a new one. We're also going to get on with the Nurglings here that will do some good damage. They don't have brilliant melee stats, they can suffer, but we are going to charge forward here. Are we going to catch too much? Probably not, as it's going to be a front on charge. The Devastating Flanker is going to work from the flank or the rear. So it's like here, the Heartseekers have charged in from the front. The Seekers of Slaanesh are going to try and charge in from the flank. And then we're going to get a rear charge here from the Chaos Furies. Chaos Furies will do lovely work here. They're going to have 44 weapon strength with poison and magic damage. It could be devastating indeed, but they get on top of the Nurglings and they're going to be doing some good work for sure. As you can see here, we do actually push back a lot of damage here on the Heartseekers, and we do move in with the infantry. So good work there by the Slaanesh player to buffet all the damage coming forward on the Heartseekers. So in the middle, we are going to have Hellstriders. They're going to be fighting the back here up against the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. Now, they're going to be the anti-large variants, so not too many bonuses here up against the infantry units. But in the middle, we are going to get a summon of the Fiends of Slaanesh. They come here with the Spaphoric Musk, which will be coming for negative melee attack and melee defense, and will really help buffer in the middle. In the sky, we are going to have the Plague Drones still flying around. They'll be throwing those heads every now and then, waiting for all those big, juicy targets to come forward. Now, just one unit of the Spearmen here. I like to push them towards the edge of the box, just to give you a little bit more protection on the domination point. But as Nurgle, you're probably not going to see too many threats. So for the points wise, we're going to be 1.5k apiece. I'm going to be slightly taking the lead here with the Slaanesh side of things. As you can see, Marauders on the point. We are moving in with the Hell Scourgers of the Marauders. That's going to be the Whip higher melee defense unit. And they're going to charge forward and help hold off the Nurgle tide. They're very tanky. They're not known for really butchering through apart from those Forsaken. So the Herald is going to be fighting here alongside some Furies up against the Heartseekers. They fall and they dissipate back into the Chaos Wastes as we now move in here with the Marauders of Slaanesh. Now they'll just die, they'll get butchered regularly like any human beings of the realm. But we do see here the Whips, they're going to be holding quite nicely. On the side we see some Heartseekers ready to get around the flanks. Looks like they're going to be fighting, and Nurglings are going to be capturing the point here at Domination Point 1. In the sky, so we are going to rotate here a unit, and that's going to be the Spophoric Musk here on top of the Plague Drones. I'd like to see them rotate and help over here, maybe try and start taking down some of these Heartseekers. On top, we are going to have some Hell Scourgers backed up by these Seekers, and being the Domination Point 1 is not looking too favourable here, I think we need to make a choice. We need to get this cavalry unit in somewhere, and I think maybe this is the right choice. We do see some Plague Drones. They could get recharged here by the double cavalry. I don't know too much what we're going to see here. We could see some good damage, but the Plague Drones, they're incredibly tanky. So they do charge in. They get some okay damage, but we'll see how it goes on. The Fiends of Slaanesh are going to be fighting. They have a brilliant amount of AP damage here. Only 40 armor for the Plague Drones. The health is really where they're tanky. So the Hell Scourgers are beating back. All the forces and the cavalry of Slaanesh have been pushed away. 2.4k up against 2,070 for Nurgle. And we do manage to recapture a very weak spawn of Nurgle, a unit of the Plague Bearers, and some of the Nurglings. In the middle, we are going to charge forward here the Seekers of Slaanesh, double Marauders. I mean that triple Marauders, double Cavalry, including the Fiends. And what else are we looking to get in here? We have some Spearmen in the back. I think we need to get those Spearmen forward. That's about, 450 gold on the battlefield. They can certainly be doing some more work indeed. And so we are going to cycle out and continuously cycle charge here into the middle and try and see if we can destroy Nurgle. The more Nurgle push into the middle, the harder it's going to be for them to rotate over to the right-hand side and defend. Now, what do we see here? Some Exalted Demonettes of Slaanesh. The lovely ladies indeed, and these ladies are extremely powerful. They are going to have the Soul Sensibility, giving them extra melee attack, and then also armor piercing. They are going to have Charmed for that -8 melee attack, and just bucket loads of magic damage and armor piercing. So on the points, we are going to have Plague Bearers of Nurgle. Nurglings fighting here as well. These ladies don't have much armor, but they fight so goddamn well with 44 melee defense. You might also make that basically 54 melee defense due to the -8 of their Charmed. So they're going to be fighting alongside some Heartseekers, and they should butcher most of these forces pretty quickly. The Spawn of Nurgle down to 7 models. They don't have much health. They will drop pretty fast here. We can see some Hell Scourgers backed up by some more cavalry coming across, and that has forced the Plague Drones to come over and help. So there's going to be some pretty nice work here over on the right-hand side. Domination Point 1 is being held. We're in the middle. Domination Point 2. It is getting fought over here. It is going to be in the control of Slaanesh. We have the cavalry plus the Marauders in here. There's going to actually be more capture weight from the side of Pink, so we are going to be holding quite nicely. Domination Point 3 just really cannot be pressured here by Nurgle. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to have some Toad Jitsu coming through. We are going to have the double Plague Toads of Nurgle. And these boys, they know how to fight. They know how to fight. They've been taught in the ways of ultimate fighting craft. And they're going to be getting down here on the point with that mobility. They do actually have 59 speed, which is pretty damn good there for Nurgle. When they get on the point, Toad Jitsu is going to be unleashed. Now we do see Hell Scourgers fighting alongside the Heartseekers, and still the Exalted Demonettes are going extremely strong here, up to 37 kills so far. But the Plague Bearers, they have so much health. Over 10k health for one unit is so much to butcher, no matter how good your stats are. The Plague Drones still flying across. We have 7 bottles for the front leading and 7 units for the back leading. We are going to be having the Herald of Nurgle on the point fighting here. I don't know how many Locus of Fecundities we have left, but we should have still some healing in the middle, plus some good spells and abilities here to take down the majority of these forces. Nurglings here and the Chaos Furies can do some lovely work in the middle. And I think that's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be 3,875 here for the points of Slaanesh up against 2,900 of Nurgle. And Nurgle do have the double points, and I believe they do have... yes, they do. They actually have. If they maintain these 2 points, they will come back with the victory. So we do need to see Slaanesh get onto a domination point and capture it. And at the moment, the majority is going to be on domination point 1. We charge forward here with the Nurglings. They're going to get absolutely... Look at the whips in the front as they just dominate and destroy up against the Nurglings here on the front line. This is becoming an incredibly close game. 3,200 up against 4,000 points. The still holding the Plague Bearers with that Charmed up against the Exalted Demonettes. That is just a perfect counter of pure Chungus. As now they rip apart here with the Spawn of Nurgle. Yes, they do get less melee attack, but they have poison. They debuff here, the lovely ladies, and they are going to have to fall. The elite Plague Bearers of Nurgle. They're going to hold back here up against the Exalted Demonettes of Slaanesh. Now we are going to get bucket loads of Marauders. I think this is the way to go. Get some infantry in there, but the problem is Tojitsu. Anti-infantry as well here, as poison and magic damage makes it very difficult to stop these Plague Toads. The Tojitsu is strong with these boys, and they're going to get in here, and they're going to get some good fighting on the front. Look at them leap and bound and belly flop and kick and backflip. You see it, and they just absolutely destroy here. Backed up by the spawn of Nurgle as well, so we are going to have a good amount, 14 models here fighting with poison and 130 weapon strength. That's just going to tear through the lightly armored units of the Marauders. And now we are going to see a stream of corruption down the line, doing some excellent damage here up against the double light armored infantry. And now we are going to have some Demonettes of Slaanesh charging forward for the armor piercing. Now, Demonettes, of course, they do pay for the armor-piercing element and also that mobility. The problem is, Nurgle don't have much armor, so you're paying for quite a lot here that you're not using. We are going to see the Curse of the Slug. That's actually going to transfer to 1, 2, 3 units of the Slur. I believe that can go up to 5 here as the Nurgle passive, but the Seekers are going to charge through. The Plague Drones are going to get some rear charge. They're going to move in with that massive weapon strength and start tearing apart the nice elite cavalry here of Slaanesh. So Domination Point 1 still going to be fighting here. The Exalted Demonettes going after these Plague Bearers. They have been the bane of Domination Point 1 here for Slaanesh. They've been so hard to take down. It's you've got to feel for the Slaanesh player. Nurgle is charging forward. 4,300 points up against 4,500 here for the Slaanesh forces. They're going to be just holding on to the lead. It's going to be about 250 points in the advantage. Seekers fighting up against the Marauders. And it's like here, Hell Scourgers and Marauders really trying to get on the point. You need to be pushing everything down as much as you can onto Domination Point 2. But the Mass Nurgle Tide plus the Tojitsu are going to be holding it here for the forces of Nurgle. We're going to be getting so close here. 4.6 up against 4.7. We've even thrown the entire kitchen sink. Domination Point 3 has moved in here with those spears. They haven't moved all game. They've locked it down since day dot. And now they're going to be fighting in the middle. They need to come around the corner. Don't add to the blob. Come round and get on the point. You must fight here up against the Mass Nurgle Tide. Now the Seekers here, they're going to be fighting pretty strong. And they should be able to tear apart most of the Nurgles. I just don't know if it's going to be quick enough. And for the second time in the game, we are going to be taking the lead here with Nurgle. They're going to be holding the middle. I believe that is going to be GG's and well played, as they just cannot get onto Domination Point 2. So excellent work here for Neckbet. He really came back and used the tanky side of Nurgle to hold on this Chaos map. The Eye in the North is such a fantastic map that you can really utilize quite a few different strategies. It even also favors artillery pieces, mobility, and just the tankiness element here of using the correct choke points, and just different styles of play could really be shown on this map. And it's so fun to see that Nurgle, in a particularly difficult matchup up against Slaanesh, still come and reign on top. So 3,000 damage value for the Herald of Nurgle, coming in with the double Rancid Visitations on top of the Herald of Shadows, and then also just butchering her towards the end, doing some brilliant damage. If you haven't used Rancid Visitations, cheap caster lords on horseback are super susceptible to dying to this spell. And 3,000 damage value, including the Locus of Fecundity, and then also the Lore passive of Healing with Stream of Corruption, is a fantastic choice here for the Herald of Nurgle. 1.5k and 1,300 for the Plague Drones, alongside 940 for the Spawn for 101 kills. 350 and 516 there for the Nurglings, and for the reinforcements. So we didn't see any other Plague Drones. We didn't see the Exalted Plague Bearers, bit of an interesting one there. We are going to have 976 and 580 there for the Spawn of Nurgle. So Rotflies didn't make the battlefield, but 900 here for the Plague Bearers, plus 460 up with the unit in the middle. And the Tojitsu coming in at 388, 314. And the Flyers here with the Furies, 1,088, 143 kills. Very strong stuff for 980. 688, 506, and 750. Yeah, really, really good work here. Really nice build coming in from the PE legend. Neckbet, you know, it's nice to see him back here in the community. Actually, I haven't seen a replay from him in a while, and yeah, thank you very much for sending this in, bro. I really do appreciate it. So we are going to see the Herald of Shadows with 780. We are going to have 740 there for the Heartseekers, coming in at under half their normal value. The cavalry here is incredibly hard. You need to have like sort of a hammer and anvil tactic. You get the infantry in the front, and then you rear charge here with the Heartseekers, and they just demolish everything. 940 there for the Hellstriders, the Hell Scourgers, with 313, 390 for the Spears, 550, 580, 240, 330, and 500 there for the Marauders. That'll be the anti-infantry variants. So 1,300 here for the Heartseekers of Slaanesh, 499, 0 there for the Demonettes, with 940 for the Exalted. You can see they did really well, but they also struggled with the 1.2k value. They did still have a lot of value to give, but even then they just couldn't butcher very quickly here through the Plague Bearers of Nurgle, and using their trait points correctly really prevented Slaanesh from getting back on those domination points. So 945 there for the Fiends. Didn't see the second unit, but we did get 950 for the Seekers, and 2,450. Seekers of Slaanesh, incredibly strong. So are the Hellstriders, 580 for them. Yeah, for 600 gold cost, I definitely go very wide here with the Hellstriders. They're very good counters here up against Tojutsu, and they could do quite nicely up against the Spawn of Nurgle. We have 1,029 there for the Hellstriders, the Hell Scourgers, and 314 there from the Marauders with the Hell Scourgers. So, GG's well played to both of these legends. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please smash this like button. It really does help on the channel. You find it down there in the bottom right. Other than that, if you haven't already, do feel free to subscribe, and then also leave a comment down below. I'd love to know all your thoughts and opinions, and I try to respond as much as I possibly can. If you haven't checked out the description, go find it, and then also follow there on my Twitch, and then also follow and come join in the Discord. There's going to be a bunch of things coming forward. I'm also doing the short bid league. We're going to be having a lot more tournaments starting this week, which should be really, really awesome. So I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.